This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Okay, dito tayo sa ating bayan. Sanay tayo sa usapang bulahan. But of course, we have a lot of that in politics. But this episode, we're going to discuss something more serious, and this is the Ebola crisis that is spreading to some extent in the African continent and creating panic even in the United States and in parts of Europe. Tayo dito sa Pilipinas, we feel very distant from this, and thank God we are an archipelago at it will be much more time before this ever becomes a real threat to us in the Philippines, and let's hope it stays that way. But we still have to look forward to possibilities that we may be affected, and unfortunately very little in terms of laboratory capabilities. Our guest will help me verify this. As I see it, we have very little capability in dealing with a major epidemic if it comes. But thank God we have this God's tree, they say, the coconut, which gives us so many fruits. Not only in terms of the buko, but the other fruits for our health. And there's been some discussion on the internet on virgin coconut oil as a remedy to even Ebola. So we thought we'd discuss this with the public para mapag-usapan natin lahat itong potential na kung magka-problema po tayo sa mga tulad ng Ebola and other such virulent virus, itong VCO ay nandito para maipanlaban natin dito sa mga pesteng ganito. So si Dr. Toby Dairit of the Department of Chemistry of the Ateneo de Manila University he's been here once or twice before on the discussion of VCO and coconut products, and we invited him again to clarify this potential use of the VCO dito sa mga tulad ng Ebola. Doc, how are you? And it's been some time, no?
Yes, fine.
Last time you were invited to our discussion, that the station was still in Pasong Tamo Extension, so that must have been 2 to 3 years ago.
Yes, probably 3 years ago. Yeah.
And you're from your father down to you have been promoting VCO as a health support.
Yes, well, there's enough evidence there. The trouble is we don't study the evidence. Well, we ourselves don't do enough studies. But there's enough evidence in the scientific literature.
Who is doing more study? Is it Dr. Fife and foreign doctors or Philippine?
Well, when I say study, I mean basic research. Dr. Fife brings a lot of the information together. So he has access, and then does very good analysis.
But the pioneers like your father, in discovering the power of virgin coconut oil. No?
Well, especially I think because he was a medical doctor, he studied the antiviral effects, and he was the first one to suggest it could be used against HIV. And then he also did, while working at Unilab, he used animal tests to show that VCO is actually superior to many other oils. So mga animal studies yun.
Superior to many other oils like palm oil,
yes,
corn oil. And
yeah, mga microbial effects. So he would take mga rats and then infect them with various streptococcus or some other bacterial disease, and show that VCO actually leads to better outcomes.
Now, this is not the government laboratories that he was working in. It was the private laboratory of Unilab.
Yes.
So, relative to my point earlier that I feel we don't have enough public effort in preparing for epidemics and so on, would that be a validation that he was not doing it in a government hospital or laboratory or facility?
Well, I mean, I guess the government does do some things, but not everything. In this case, I guess he wouldn't go do a research grant anyway. He was doing it out of his own interest.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the government does.
So it was his own advocacy, and not even from Unilab management.
No, it was his own advocacy.
His own advocacy. Yes. Okay. And sino bang mga contemporaries niya? I hear the name Banson. Banson ba is also involved?
Was it Banson? Well, Banson was Julian Banson was the father of coconut. He was at UPLB.
Yeah.
And he passed away maybe about 15, 20 years ago now. But I guess he was the father of studies on coconut oil.
On general topic of coconut.
Yes, on coconut, yes. So,
and your father is still around?
No, he passed away in 2007.
So quite recently, 6 years ago.
Yeah, 88 years old.
Okay. And so, what is our premier laboratory in the public sector? RITM?
RITM for infectious disease, the RITM.
Do we have, should RITM be concerned and be developing some responses to possible...
I guess we should, because we have so many OFWs.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
We should be able to, we should study, of course, Africa, as you said, seems to be quite far away.
But we have a lot of OFWs there.
We have many people there, and with air travel, of course, it's just one flight to bring Ebola here.
Yeah.
So we
Pero
should
parang walang direct flights from the African countries to the Philippines. So, dadaan ng Frankfurt siguro and other...
Madali lang.
Oo. Sa bagay, mabilis lang.
Mabilis lang yan.
24 hours lang.
Ilang oras lang nandito na yun. So, we should look out for it, I think.
When I asked you earlier, when I issued the invitation, gave you the invitation to join us here, sabi mo, ang problema, we do not have a sample of the virus, nor is it going to be possible to get it siguro, ano? Yeah,
well, it's going to be very difficult. Siyempre, you have to get kasi there are 4 strains of Ebola, 4 or 5. In fact, there's one strain of Ebola here, yung Reston.
Really?
Oh, but it doesn't kill. It infects monkeys. Kaya lang hindi siya virulent. So hindi naman lahat ng Ebola nakakapatay. Yung nandito, hindi siya nakakapatay. Well, obviously, yung nakikita sa Africa, yung nakakapatay. And to handle that, you need level 4 biosafety. So hindi na.
Meron bang capability tayo, RITM or anybody here?
There's probably a level 4, but of course, it takes a lot of work. I mean, a lot.
Investment also?
Lot. Yes.
But we should have. Kasi in this age where even biological warfare methods are being taken seriously by the major powers, should we remain vulnerable and in fact naive and ignorant about these things?
Well, I believe we probably have 1 or 2. Pero syempre kung nagkaroon ng problema, kulang na yung isa o dalawa. Kailangan marami. So the scale is also not there. And it's expensive to maintain those laboratories.
Well, we'll get back to this, the political aspect of this current Ebola crisis. But explain to us the mechanism of VCO against viruses, including the Ebola virus. Why does it work against flu and other? And by the way, I take gata morning, noon, and night.
No,
I told you na. Among 10 siblings in the family, ako lang hindi nagtitina. May puti naman ako, pero still basically dark. You don't seem to use VCO on your hair.
No, I don't put it on my hair kasi baka hindi maniwala na
gusto mo na tumanda ka ng konti kasi hindi ka makakasakay sa senior citizen section ng MRT.
Kung pinakita ko yung card ko, baka isipin nila na, oy,
teke yan. Okay, explain to us the mechanism ng virgin coconut oil na panlaban sa bacteria and virus. How does it happen?
Well, the basic idea, first of all, VCO has been shown to be active against gram-positive bacteria.
Gram-positive. You're giving me a technical term I cannot understand.
Well, there are two major groups of bacteria. May tinatawag na gram-positive at gram-negative. Ang pagkakaiba niyan, yung structure ng membrane, yung outer coat ng membrane. Ang efficacy ng effectiveness ng VCO, specifically lauric acid, is to the gram-positive. So, wala siyang effect sa gram-negative. But gram-positive accounts for a lot of...
Gram-positive means their cell wall is...
lipid-coated.
Fat siya. Kasi when you term lipid, not many people understand.
Yeah,
so, fat-coated siya.
Fat molecules.
Fat siya.
Sa kanya.
Yung balat niya, bali taba yan. Taba.
Parang taba.
Layman's language lang muna tayo.
Taba. Ganun din. May virus din na ganun din ang structure. Marami, parang fat molecules din. So may similarity yung kanilang outer membrane. May virus na hindi.
Yung gram-negative ba, hindi fat ang kanyang balat? Sabihin natin balat?
Iba-iba. May protein.
May protein, may iba. So ito fat, okay.
Ngayon, yung Ebola is also, it's a virus.
It's a gram-positive?
Well, sa virus hindi ginagamit yung term na yun.
Sa virus hindi.
Kaya sa virus, lipid-coated, fat-coated din siya.
Okay.
So, and it's known that lauric acid and monolaurin are effective against viruses.
Bakit? Kinakain niya yung
sinisira niya yung membrane.
Yung membrane na taba, tinatawag lang natin non-technical term.
Yung tabang membrane. Nabubuksan din niya yun.
Nabubuksan niya.
So, nasisira yung virus.
Kumbaga tayo, yung balat natin mabubuksan. Mapapasukan
kung ganon, kung siguro yun ang analogy.
Very layman's terms.
So, ganun din yung sa Ebola. Since Ebola is also a fat-coated virus, may possibility, or let's say it's not...
You just say it's a possibility because you have no experiment yet.
We've not experimented. So you have to show that na talaga it works.
But theoretically, it's there because...
Theoretically, it may work. Ngayon, hindi lang naman pagpapatay ng virus ang pwede mangyari. Pwede rin kasi ang virus kasi pwedeng pumasok sa'yo, but it still has to infect you. Ngayon, it's also known that lauric acid may interfere with the process na nasa loob mo na yung virus pero hindi
so
ko
kung matagal ka nang gumagamit ng VCO, umiinom ng VCO o gata na may VCO naman, no? Yeah. Nandoon na yung panlaban mo kung sakaling pumasok.
So it's possible it will interfere with the infection. That's a second possibility. A third possibility is yung pang-enhance ng immune system ng tao kasi ang VCO really strengthens the immune system.
Now, established na kasi kahit yung basketball players, sino ba yun? Na may HIV.
Si Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson, umiinom din daw niya.
Sa HIV o AIDS.
Panlaban niya sa AIDS niya. So, established yun. Yung HIV virus ba, lipid-coated din o fat-coated din?
I don't know for sure.
But they're using it. So,
yes,
it's a proof. No?
Okay. That it were, yes. Anyway, yun ang pang-apat na mechanism is that VCO also produces energy for the heart, other cells. So, pwedeng, kasi meron din namang sa states, di ba, 50% yung kanilang yung rate of mortality. So, pwede namang meron kang Ebola pero hindi ka mamatay kung maalagaan ka.
Malakas ang immune system.
Malakas ang immune system mo o mabigyan ka ng ng anumang panlakas. Pwede rin namang ganun na VCO will provide the energy to strengthen and the immune system as well. So, may possibilities. So, ang tingin ko dyan, obviously hindi naman nakakasama ang VCO. Wala namang cure ang Ebola. So, in fact, it's fairly easy to do the test. Ethically, there should be really no problem. Ang problema, wala tayong pasyente. So kung...
Pasalamat tayo, wala pa tayong pasyente.
So kung meron tayong sanang ipadalang mission doon, pwede silang experiment.
That is one reason why we can send or should send a mission to help.
Yes, and then...
magka-experience na rin ng ating mga doktor.
Yeah, kasi it's a simple enough study to have two groups sa bigyan.
What about vaccines? Ang sagot nila ay kailangan mag-develop ng vaccine at magkalat ng vaccine. Hindi na natin kailangan if we prove that VCO can immunize to some extent, maybe greater, we don't know, the body against such virus.
Well, of course, ang vaccine is supposed to provide immunity for the for people. So complementary yan. Pwede namang may vaccine, kaya lang kung magkaroon, ma-infect ka, di mag-VCO.
Pero maraming duda na sa vaccine eh.
Mahal lang, of course, ang tendency, mahal ang vaccine. And the VCO, hindi naman
Tsaka
mahal.
yung vaccine, merong mga thermerosol ba yun? How do we pronounce that? Mercury and other
well, it depends
adjuvants,
it depends how they prepare it. Yeah.
So controversial yung vaccine. But anyway, this is the political angle that there have been demonstrations against the approach to the Ebola crisis in Africa by Africans themselves. But here is one news report that I downloaded from the internet questioning this Ebola scare in Africa itself. Are we ready with that? Download natin.
Noguchi Memorial Institute of Research has released a report refuting the alleged Ebola outbreak in the country.
In a press briefing in Accra, the Minister for Health, Madam Sherry Ayite, said the report indicates that there is no Ebola outbreak in the country, neither is there any other deadly viral illness in the country.
The news of the alleged Ebola outbreak in the country broke when a 12-year-old girl died due to some strange illness at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. This led to an emergency meeting and a later referral of the blood sample to the Noguchi Memorial Institute of Research, which is a medical research center with the capacity to testify to any suspected deadly illnesses in the sub-region. The report, which took 72 hours to be ready, says there is no cause for alarm as the country is currently free from any Ebola outbreak. However, the Minister for Health, Madam Sherry Ayite, says in spite of this report, the ministry is leaving no stone unturned.
Since the news breakout of the Guinea infection, we have taken some major steps to ensure that we are fully in control of our national program. The steps that we have taken, last week we set up a national technical coordinating committee meeting to develop comprehensive preparedness and response plans for any Ebola outbreak.
Well, that's just to show that there are others who are questioning this whole panic. For example, why is the U.S. sending 4,000 troops, soldiers, and not 4,000 doctors? The other points being made is why send 4,000 troops when they can send engineering groups to build clinics and hospitals, emergency quarantine facilities for. So there are questions because there are some Africans, in fact there are demonstrations with placards saying they're in Liberia because of the diamonds and so on, and oil in Nigeria for the oil. There is a rumor going around that it is the Red Cross vaccinations that have injected Ebola into some of the victims. But that's for another discussion. We have 1 minute to conclude our discussion. What are the other important points that we should inform the public about, and with regards to our capability in dealing with such scares and epidemics?
Well, certainly we should be on the lookout for when this comes out. Kung Ebola nga siya, then certainly we have to train our people on how to deal with it, and also, of course, we have to look for measures which are more affordable. I don't think we have the resources to treat our patients like they treat them in the U.S.
Yeah, so we'll have to discuss further at some future occasion. VCO again as a generally applied health tonic or remedy. But for now, that's I think enough for our audience to appreciate that we have the VCO. In case we have a real scare here in the country. So maraming salamat, Doc. And so we'll invite you again in the coming episodes. Maraming salamat po. And so stay tuned. We have a discussion on the foreign military bases in the country. Okay.